Hey guys, Marsingan here, bringing on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so we've done the Vegeta showcase. We are now going to do the INT Super Saiyan 2 Angel Goku showcase, who of course transforms into Super Saiyan 3. Now, I'm very impressed with Vegeta. I was very clear on that in that video. I'm not so sure about Goku. After reading their kits when the details came out, obviously the Goku does seem worse. But, you know, we're going to try him out and see for ourselves exactly what he's doing. So he's Rainbow, level 10 links. Mine's built for basically full additional. I think both of them I maybe need to have a look at their hidden potentials. But he's got Otherworld Warriors or Super Saiyan 3 as his leader skills for 170. Just like Vegeta, not really the craziest combo for leads, but you could probably make some fun teams out of it. But not necessarily something that's going to be peak meta, you know what I mean? But his super attack, raise attack and defense for 1 turn, immense damage to the enemy. And then his passive, key 2, attack and defense 150. He has a high chance to dodge, so 50%. He gets defense boost up to 120. The more HP remaining, the greater the boost. And if you have 50% or more HP, he gets an extra 20% dodge chance. So he has 70% chance to dodge. He gets an attack boost up to 120 with the less HP you have. And if your HP is 50% or less, he gets 20% crit chance. He changes key spheres of a certain type to rainbow when there's a Buu Saga ally or enemy, just like Vegeta. Then his chance to crit is 50% with a rainbow key sphere obtained, and then attack and defense 120 when attacking with 3 or more key spheres obtained. And then he has the same transformation condition. So the thing with this guy is that being on high HP gives him his full defense, which is good, but of course then dangerous on turns where you're on low HP. Because you can see here we've got some support because we've got the INT Ultimate Gohan on rotation. He's at 290k defense start of turn, which means that when he attacks, he obviously gets the 120% from his passive, as long as we pick up the orbs, which we should be able to. Puts him up to like 638. He gets the buff from his own super attack effect, so it's almost about another 100. So he's just over 700k defense after he supers. But unlike Vegeta, he doesn't have damage reduction or guard or anything. So when it comes to a big super attack, he is very much going to be like a dodge or die character. So we go ahead and grab these. We'll get all these orbs to him. That's more than he needs, but that's fine. And then obviously Gohan doesn't really need to worry about ki anyway because he gets extra ki from his passive. So let's go ahead and do this. Now, this is the thing with, like we were saying about Majin Vegeta. Majin Vegeta is a really strong defensive character, but can also hit really hard. Whereas this Goku is basically going to be essentially relying on dodge against the harder enemies. And we just basically want to see how the attack stacks up, because it's one of those things where it's tough to argue. Like, in terms of taking hits, Vegeta's obviously way better defensively, but Goku can have a 70% chance to dodge, so there's going to be a lot of times where he just doesn't take any hits at all. Although, of course, typically, I didn't even notice, again, just like the Vegeta showcase, he's the one that was sealed on the first turn. But notice that he didn't dodge. So he had a 70% chance to dodge on this turn and didn't dodge that one attack. So if that attack had been a super attack, we'd be dead now. Whereas obviously with Majin Vegeta, we would be a little bit better off defensively because we'd have a fairly decent amount of damage reduction to go along with our post-super defense. So that is something to bear in mind straight away, that when it comes to defense, Goku is definitely weaker overall when it comes to actually taking hits, but ideally he's dodging. So I think straight away the ideal build for this Goku is going to be full dodge, but we'll try out obviously once we actually get to transform into Super Saiyan 3 and see how we go from there. This phase is good, like I said in the first one. I like to use this stage because it's a bit longer for showcases, but it actually works out really well for these guys, because even if we don't get to transform Goku in this first part of the fight, there's no way we can't do 50% of the STR Buhan's HP in one turn. So if we start off against STR Buhan with the rotation that Goku isn't on, then it doesn't matter because he's still going to have 50% or more HP on that next turn when Goku comes around onto the rotation. But unfortunately here we have obviously done enough damage so that he won't be on 50% HP for the next turn, but that's fine. We'll get to see another turn with the Goku, maybe. Gohan could actually pop off. Oh no, Gohan's the one that's sealed, so no, he won't. He's not going to be popping off. But that's okay, it is what it is. So he can just eat all of these attacks at the end here, and then we go on to the next turn. Because, yeah, the transformation condition, he sealed again. Bruh. Stop sealing this man. I need to see what his damage is. Will I kill him with Goku? I guess I could purposely not get the first super. I guess I'll do that. And then let's Senzu Bean, so we can actually get to see what Goku's attack stat's going to be. Do this, and then just grab orbs for Gotenks. Doesn't really matter which ones, because we're going to end the phase here. Goku will tank all of these attacks in slot 1 anyway, and then won't get the first super. He's in slot 1, so he doesn't have as many built-in opportunities to get additionals. So there we go. And then Super Saiyan 2 Goku is at, with no support, 10.7 million. I mean, the thing is, the pre-transformed version, the attack stat's not super important unless you do get stuck in a situation where you just can't transform. And notice he didn't dodge again. So 2 turns in a row, 70% chance to dodge, getting hit with 1 attack, and he didn't dodge either time. So definitely a bit awkward. But now we're going to finish off this phase and go into the next one. There's no attacks in slot 1, so might as well let you finish him off here. Because Goku's sealed, and I'm not going to worry about using a Senzu Bean. So Dragon Fist Goku can just finish off Gotenks here. I love the fact they added this guy to this Majin Buu Saga team. It's going to be so good. I can't wait for Gotenks. Like, you shouldn't be summoning at this time of year, really. Like, the December Carnival LR is like the ultimate bait, but that Gotenks just looks so good. But yeah, here's the transformation for Goku. There we go. The epic first Super Saiyan 3 transformation scene. Still would be really cool. Like, we need more Super Saiyan 3s in the game. But there you go. Super Saiyan 3 is one of my favorite forms. But we have now transformed, so let's take a look at what we are doing in our transformed state. So we've got all of our links except for Supreme Power active here. Our super attack is now greatly raised attack and defense, immense damage, great chance to stun. So him and Majin Vegeta have just the exact same super attack effects. And then key 3, attack and defense 200%, high chance to dodge, and then his defense boost 150 based on the HP. He has chance to dodge plus 30% if you're above 50%. So he has an 80% chance to dodge when you're above half health. He gets attack boost based on the less HP remaining. And if HP is 50% or less, he gets 30% crit chance. Changes the key spheres again with the Buu Saga enemy or ally. Then he gets 70% crit chance with a rainbow key sphere. So he doesn't really need any crit in his hidden potential. Attack and defense 133 when attacking with 3 or more orbs, and then launches an additional attack, and attacks become crits with 6 orbs. So he doesn't even get the extra stats that Vegeta gets with the 6 orbs. So he does get crit chance, but he is only getting 133% when he attacks. So he's on what? 319. So let's clear this off. So let's just do 320. So he's at 320k defense start of turn. He's going to get 50% off of his super attack, so that's about 160k. But he gets 133% when he attacks. So he goes up to about, what, 800, well, about 900, close to 900k. But that's the thing, right? You compare that to Vegeta, who gets up to over 1 million, but then has 66% damage reduction and guard. This guy has just under 1 million, and has an 80% chance to dodge, but if he doesn't dodge, then he's eating all that damage. Now, that means he will be able to tank normals, like, relatively well, which is fine, but when it comes to super attacks from, like, the bigger bosses, he very much is going to be a dodge or die character. And so then the question is, the lower the HP, the harder he can hit. And that's why Vegeta is such a great unit, is the higher your HP, you're getting the attack bonus, but his defensive mechanics are so good, it doesn't matter. Whereas with Goku, the higher your HP, the more defense you're getting, which unfortunately is like a negative reversal. It doesn't really matter because super attacks would still kill him. But then unless you're on lower HP, he's not going to be hitting really high attack stats. So remember, I think the lowest attack stat we saw for Vegeta was like 28 million for Majin Vegeta. And then Goku here, we started to turn on a lot more HP than we have now. He's at 15.6. And then he doesn't get the, he gets the crit chance. And then we get the additional as well, 16. Because, yeah, that's like, the guaranteed crit is obviously very good because it does help to do a little bit of extra damage. But Vegeta was essentially doing, like, that same damage with the 2 attacks that he gets. And he gets 1 guaranteed as well. So, obviously, That's what we want to see, is Goku then getting the dodges. So he could be useful. I mean, I guess in some situations, if you really need to, you could like put him in slot 1, because it's an 80% chance to dodge, but you're taking a big risk, because obviously if he doesn't dodge, especially slot 1 before he attacks, he would be taking a lot of damage. But at least you could risk it. Whereas obviously we saw with Majin Vegeta, he could tank like a 1.6 million damage super for 60k or 90k in slot 1. Whereas Goku, he could dodge completely, or he'll just get absolutely erased from the face of the earth. So it's a tricky one when it comes to figuring out why exactly they've designed them in this way, because Vegeta, like, it's like he makes up for his shortcomings, right? If you're on full HP, he gets a load of extra attack, so he hits like a truck. He doesn't get a lot of extra defense, but he has 66% damage reduction and guard, so he doesn't really need a lot of extra defense. I mean, his defense is not exactly bad either. It's still around 1 million post super. Whereas Goku, he's getting a lot more defense when you're on full HP, but because he doesn't have any other defensive mechanics outside of being able to dodge, even when you're on full HP, so he's getting the maximum defense buff possible, he's not going to be tanking these big super attacks that Majin Vegeta can tank even when he's getting no defensive boost from his passive because you're on full health. And then of course the flip side is then that because you're on high HP, Goku's not getting a massive attack stat. That would be the good balance, right? Goku being a dodge or die character, I feel like it would make more sense, and like the EZAs would feel more balanced if Goku was the one that was hitting like 33 million attack, and then Vegeta's hitting like 16, but is tanking everything in the game for double digits. Not everything, but most things. So it really does feel this side on this odd occasion, right? Because it doesn't happen very often that we Vegeta fans get the W when it comes with the dual Gokus. I mentioned this on stream the other day, and somebody was like, what do you mean? There's been a bunch of Vegetas like released this year. And it's like, nah, we mean when they both come out at the same time, a Goku and Vegeta, like a dual Dokkan Fest. So often it's like the Goku is just better. And this is one of those very rare occasions where I think there's almost no argument that could be made that like Goku is better than Vegeta, right? Like Vegeta is just so much better than Goku. In their base, they're basically the same, but again, Vegeta has damage reduction instead of the RNG like dodge chance. Goku's in a better spot for teams because we're ignoring the existence of Gotenks at the moment because he's not out yet. So other than running just a Majin Buu Saga team, Goku has a lot of other allies on his main teams that are Buu Saga, which are easier to run and get the full 200% lead with units like AGL, Angel Goku, STR Dragon Fist Goku. Whereas obviously, you know, for the Vegeta one, we ran him on the Vegeta family team with Tech Vegeta, which also includes Super Saiyans. So you are still able to run Buu Saga characters to make sure he's getting that rainbow orb changing, because the rainbow orb changing obviously super important. When it comes to this Goku, his getting the 6 orbs is giving him the additional super and guaranteed crits, unfortunately not giving him the extra stats. So I mean, I'm not sure what they really could have done to balance it other than, like I say, switching around like how they get their attack and defense, I guess, because Goku, if he was hitting a lot harder, I think it, like I say, it would feel better that he was a dodge or die character against big supers. Whereas Vegeta, unironically, like, again, if you take out the RNG chance of dodge, Vegeta is tanking better and doing more damage. Whereas Goku, obviously, technically, he can tank better because he could just dodge and take 0 damage. But Vegeta will take double-digit damage from most things, especially in slot 2. I guess the other advantage is if you put them in slot 1, Vegeta would definitely be better at tanking hits, but he will take big damage from big supers. Whereas Goku, obviously, will get annihilated by big supers, but has an 80% chance to dodge them. So in a tricky situation with, say, like rotation locking, if you're fighting a really hard-hitting boss and they get locked in slot 1, Goku probably has slightly higher survivability chance because he has the 80% chance to dodge, whereas Vegeta, even with his guaranteed guard and the 66% damage reduction, is still going to take quite a lot of damage. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting one that it's turned out this way. I mean, I guess we could test it out again here. I've got no Senzu beans left, well, I guess we can't. I was going to say, we could test it out again here where we just put him in slot 1 and see what happens, and does he actually dodge all of the attacks. But unfortunately, we got locked and we've used all of our Senzu beans, so we just have to rely on Gotenks to get the dodges. I still think it's a bit strange that they made the Carnival LR Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks tech when we have the Super Easy A tech one. There is like a free-to-play STR Gotenks Super Saiyan 3. I don't know why he couldn't have just been STR. I guess we don't really want him to be int, because I don't like units being int in general, because just getting the free level 5 dodge is, if you're someone who can only get like one copy of the unit, then you know, you want a lot of these characters to be doing additionals and stuff. Although Gotenks is going to be a really solid defensive unit, so giving him some dodge is probably good. Just for those situations, because obviously he only has the 50% chance he's going to get the massive defense buff when he gets hit with a super. Whereas if he just dodges it, then it doesn't matter. But yeah, strange that he's tech, because he's just the same typing and name as the Super Saiyan 3 Super Easy A. Because that Super Saiyan 3 Super Easy A Gotenks could go on the team, but then realistically that means you're just going to have to run them as a floater and run the Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks as the slot 1 characters, which is fine. It also takes a load off the back of Angel Super Saiyan 3 Goku, because especially in the early turns, in turn 2, he's an even better tank, because he's getting that extra damage reduction every time he attacks. So on turn 1, by the time he gets hit, he's over 100% defense, damage reduction if he's in slot 2. And then on turn 2, he can potentially still be up to like 90% if he's attacked 3 times in turn 1 and turn 2. So for the first 2 turns, he's like basically invincible, which is obviously very, very good. Typical that the showcase unit had to get floated off the rotation, but unfortunately it is what it is. If we do this, we can get 1 more turn with him here. But yeah, unfortunately Goku, it's a real shame in general, I guess, because like I'm a big Vegeta fan. Like for me it's a W that Vegeta's better, but it's a bit of a shame just overall for the game and just teams and team building and overall balance. Like it's a bit of a shame that Goku is just seemingly so much worse than Vegeta. Like, I'll try them out in some other events, like we'll do some more videos, and I'll probably do a tier list by the end of the week to do easy ATURs and put these guys on there. But, like, just by looking at it, I wouldn't put these guys next to each other on the tier list. Like, I genuinely think after doing that first showcase, I do need some more testing. Maybe I'm being... it's just recency bias or Vegeta fan bias. But, like, I said in the Vegeta showcase that I think he's better than Tech Easy A, Super Easy A Beerus. I don't know if I would say that this Goku is better than Super Easy A Beerus. He's on more teams, and obviously 80% chance to dodge. Like, that is going to come in clutch a lot. Whereas, obviously, sometimes he isn't going to dodge, and then he's going to die to even super attacks that, like, aren't necessarily doing crazy damage. Because if his post-super defense is only around, like, 800k, and then he doesn't dodge... That means even a super attack that only does... I say only, because nowadays that's nothing. If a super attack only does 1,000,000 damage, it would still be doing 200k to him. Which, you know, it's not a one-shot, but once we start getting to these characters... Like, even in this event, right, when we talked about how Majin Vegeta tanked in slot 1 in the STR Buhan phase, that STR Buhan does 1.6 million. So if Goku doesn't dodge that super, we take, like, 800k. Which, obviously, in a lot of situations is just going to mean death. So, oh, of course he's supering in the second slot. See if we can get the Dragon Fist in here. I guess we could do this. It's probably wasting it, but I mean, we could have just ended the video at this point, to be fair, but I want to see one more turn with the Int Goku before we get to the very end. Typical that he got locked and had to be floated off, but... And then Dragon Fist Goku doing his classic not dodging before getting the super counter. I still think one of the worst changes they made is... I know they probably did it just to be able to fit everything into the menu, but I still think one of the worst changes they made was separating all the different animations, or having the animations not be separated. Because, like... I always, especially for me when I'm doing videos, like if we end off a video sometimes by doing a run and it's like, oh, we want to have the, we want to see the animation for like the end of the run. for somebody's transformation or active skill, and then you forget to turn it back off again, and you go into another event and you get like a starting turn where every single person has an intro animation or something. But like, you used to be able to have them split, right? So it's like, oh well, what if I want to have the you know, I don't want to have the intro animations on, but I want to see the active skills. Like, or I want to see, like, for example, with that Super Saiyan 3 Dragon Fist Goku, he does the counter into the Dragon Fist, but because it's an animation, that all falls under the same thing. I should have known that was going to kill. What am I doing? Oh, well, anyway, I think we saw what we need to see. In Super Saiyan 3 Angel Goku, definitely nowhere near as good as Majin Vegeta. He's definitely a solid unit. I mean, you can take the risk that 80% chance to dodge is going to come in clutch, like, more often than not, because it's 80%, right? He's going to dodge 80% of the time. But it's just like the UI Goku meme, right? 70% chance to dodge, but then when you really need him to dodge, like the big super or something, he doesn't, and then you die and lose the run. So, Goku definitely not as impressive as Vegeta, but let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. What would you have done to improve the Goku and get him onto the Vegeta level? Let me know all your thoughts on Int Super Saiyan 2 to Super Saiyan 3 Angel Goku down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.